Well, hello there, and welcome to another Evolve Alliance provider member showcase video. This one is a little bit different because this showcase video is actually about my company, Elixir Consulting. And so therefore I am doing a complete role reversal today, and I am the provider member who is being interviewed. So you see the lovely gentleman on screen here with me today. He is actually the interviewer, Martin. I'll let you take it from here and tell us about you.
Thanks very much, Sue. Yes, my name is Martin Jakovics from Retire by Design in the lovely northern beaches of Sydney. And I've been asked to interview Sue today. This is following our recent coming on to Elixir's program about 3 months ago. So I'll just like to know a bit more about you, Sue, and about your background. So how did you originally get into coaching from your point of view?
Yeah, that's a great question. It feels like it was a really long time ago now. I have worked in multiple, it feels like all areas of the financial planning ecosystem. A very, very long time ago, I was BDM for funds management. Then I helped them to start working with some of the stockbrokers that they had. That was a really long time ago, helping them think a bit more like financial planners. Thankfully, that didn't last very long because do tend to be rather different personalities to planners.
Yes,
And I then actually went and worked in a licensee as well. So my role in that licensee was helping the firms to run a better business because I did have a business background myself. And through all of that period, I did my CFP. I went through, that was back when you had to do 8 units
Yes.
at Deakin Uni to get accredited and qualified as an advisor. And then I figured that I'm helping all of these advisors in their business. I wouldn't mind actually practicing the actual advice piece. So I then took a role running the advice firm of a chartered accounting and financial planning business in Sydney. So I was serving clients as well as running the office. And then when I got knocked up, we started our family. That was when we moved from Sydney back to Perth. And after taking some time off with my first son, I was headhunted into a role to be a national practice manager. So again, with a licensee, coaching the firms. And I just found that I loved supporting businesses. I loved advice as well. I still love it. And I felt that I probably could do more, have a bigger influence if I was coaching other advisors to improve their business. And having come from that business background, I was really passionate about it. I could just see so many opportunities for advice firms. So then after working there for a little while, I decided that I really wanted to be independent. I wanted to hang out my own shingle, set up a consulting firm that was national. So it wasn't just me being a coach, but I really wanted to bring that to life. And so I launched Elixir about 14 years ago. So
Is it that long already?
yes.
Yeah.
Some days it feels longer, and others I'm like, how did that time go? And over the years, I've sort of crafted, I've learned so much from the firms that I've worked with. I've done all sorts of online sort of training and lots of reading about different coaching techniques and principles, and customize them, I think, for financial planning firms. And I now have this beautiful team that works together with me. So I really tossed up actually.
Tell me more about the people in your team and who you have working with you.
Yeah. I did actually toss up whether I should be the one being interviewed to talk about Elixir or whether I should get one or more of the other team members. And I decided for efficiency's sake that I would have the conversation. So I am talking today on behalf of my team. So we have your coach, Graham Bernard, who's based in Sydney. So Graham has a long history in financial services. He's really passionate about advice, and he's a fabulous advocate for advisors and very, very good at cutting to the heart of a challenge in a business and identifying what needs to be done, and then working with the humans. He understands human behavior really well. So to help people.
I can certainly vouch for that. It's been a wonderful addition to our processes, to this point in time. We look forward to continuing to work with him and for him to keep us on track.
Yes, yeah, that's a big part of the coaching. Some of it's around not knowing where to apply your focus or what to do, but then just making sure that it actually gets done and you get some momentum happening.
Yeah, that's right. And I think for us it was certainly about all the changes that have been happening in the industry, the increased compliance, and our heads have just been swimming really with all that, and of course still doing our day-to-day jobs of seeing clients and bringing on new clients. So we just needed to kind of, we couldn't see the wood for the trees, so to speak. So it's been a really helpful process so far. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. I might drill in a little bit later. I'll turn the tables back on you to ask some more specific questions about that. But let me finish off the rest of the team as well.
Because there are other people. There
are, yes, indeed. So we have the beautiful Lana Clark, who is up in Brisbane. Lana's been with me the longest of any of the team, nice. I think about 11 years now. So yeah, she looks after our clients in Queensland and some of the more regional areas as well. Again, very, very skilled communicator, great at understanding human behavior, and especially with the larger teams too. Lana's got this great ability to, as do all of the team, but particularly Lana can really help people sort of trust and relax and actually talk to her about what's really happening in a business. And sometimes the principals are actually quite surprised about what's been happening in the back office. Right. And Lana is our efficiency queen. So when it comes to building out processes and procedures for a back office and getting more effective processes, she's really great at helping teams to be able to do that. And of course, all the other things we do, like helping with pricing models and so forth. She's had the pleasure of helping me put together, I think, 3 of the last 5 of the pricing research initiatives that we do every few years. So she's got really, really good, deep knowledge in that too.
Yeah.
And then we have the most recent addition to our team, well, it's well over a year now, but Monique Leroux joined us here in Perth last year. I'd known Mon for many, many years in her role as state manager with one of the insurance companies, and she always struck me as someone that was incredibly supportive of advisors, had very high integrity. She never appeared to me as an actual salesperson, albeit that was her role, but she managed this great team. She's very good at HR and people leadership, and yeah, she understands the breadth and depth of challenges within an advice business. So yeah, although she's our most recent addition, she's very, very skilled at coaching advisors as well. And then we've got some head office staff that keep the home fires burning for us and do lots of that back end support work to enable us to coach our clients.
Yeah, right. And I guess, having breadth of experiences there, and you can utilize each other to help each other with your own particular clients, I imagine.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think that's one of the great strengths that we have. Well, one, because we do focus only on financial advice, so we understand this profession very intimately. And so the challenges, not only that we're seeing in our businesses currently, but also the ones that we know are just around the corner with various other legislative and other changes influencing the market. And so we're very conscious. I mean, look, even before COVID, we were really good at utilizing Zoom and distance, keeping the team together via distances. So, since COVID happened, some of that element hasn't been too different for us, albeit I'm dying to get them all together in Perth because we have had a couple of think tanks be cancelled. But it's really important to us to do these regular sessions, and we get together at least, weekly for different things, but at least once a fortnight for a really good deep dive. We call them our think tanks, where we're sharing what we're seeing in each of our businesses. And we know that each of us have got particular areas of really, really deep expertise. So, if I've got a challenge with my firms around sort of business development and advisors actually being able to perhaps increase their sales skills ability. Graham's got some fantastic techniques and tools that we sort of draw on. Mon's our go-to person for anything HR and people leadership. Again, you know, that sort of process background. All of us are very good at pricing, but I guess I'm myself and Lana are often pulled in with some of the more detailed sort of techniques around that. So yeah, it really means that we can draw from that collective knowledge, not only in how to help firms with particular challenges, but also sometimes around contacts. You know, people are either looking to hire or engage a service provider, or, you know, who do we know? Is there a background about X, Y, Z? And between us, we're pretty good at getting to the bottom of it. So
the contacts in the industry. And
I think that adds to the strength of all of our skills and ability to
collective
serve.
abilities. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'd like to drill down a little bit more into the types of services you provide as a consulting firm or coaching firm. I guess I know pricing is a major issue, and that has certainly been something that we've been looking at in our business as well, because we've had to remain competitive and to remain profitable. But obviously there's a lot more to that. Do you want to maybe provide a bit more insight into what services you provide on a regular basis?
Yeah, so I'll probably focus this conversation on our direct-to-business services. So we do a lot of speaking gigs at conferences and PD days, albeit a lot of them are digital now, around sort of greater education. And we also do a fair bit of corporate consulting work as well with larger organisations that serve financial planners because of our in-depth knowledge. But I guess I'll probably focus today, because I think our audience for this conversation is more the financial planning firms. So the actual challenges that we help with, essentially it is anything that a business might be experiencing where they're not quite achieving what they want to be achieving, or where they want to have this continual improvement culture where they just want to get better continually. So we have our business coaching services, which is where we match up a coach to go directly into the business. And as you experienced, we always start that with quite a thorough discovery process. So we've got a really good business analysis tool. So we really get in under the hood and understand exactly what's happening within a business, and then help the owners prioritize the areas to work on, because we know most businesses do not have spare headcount sitting around with nothing to do. So there's a bit of an art in figuring out how they're going to get the best return of whatever time they can spend on the business instead of in it with clients. So typically we would start an engagement with that discovery analysis and some strategy work to get some quick wins and really map out a plan for the next 12 months for the business, a business plan. And then from that point, we've got to know the business better. They've got to know their coach. We can see what projects they've got on the go for the following 12 months. And then we work out what an ongoing engagement. So usually most of our clients, in fact, we were doing some stats the other day, it's about 90% of clients that get us to do some initial strategy work also engage us for the longer term for our ongoing coaching, because that's where the rubber really hits the road, and we make sure that you have that accountability. So that's the coaching. There's another element too for more of the DIY firms, but I wouldn't mind actually flipping the table and asking you, because I think you're in such a really fortunate position, because you're in that sweet spot between you've used our services for a couple of months now, so you're starting to understand the power of them, but it's probably not that long ago, and you probably still remember all the questions you had in your head before you reached out. So yes. I'd love to hear how you would describe it from the receiving end.
Well, I guess when we were, I guess we really realised that we needed some help when, we kept talking about wanting to make changes to our business and wanting to review certain aspects of our business, and we just never got around to it. In my particular situation, of course, my partner in crime is also my wife, and so
you mean your partner in business?
Partner in business, and we're both dedicated financial planners, but it's also very hard sometimes to have those potentially difficult conversations, and to be accountable to each other. So I think, you know, we really recognise the need for someone to come in and just take us, you know, take a step back and look at our business from the outside. You know, so we wanted to find someone who could look at all aspects of our business, and certainly, you know, Elixir seemed to encompass all the aspects that we needed. Yeah, it was very it was a very useful process going through that initial phase, getting the initial business plan set up. And as you said rightly, it kind of sets you up, puts everything in encompasses everything nicely in one document that you can work off, you know, going forward. And then, you know, as is often the case, you know, if you don't sort of continue on from there, you can just tend to, you know, put it in the top drawer or the bottom drawer, and you never see it again. Yeah, I guess, yeah, now we're sort of third month in, and have a bit of a plan, and not trying to do everything at once, but trying to you know, address things on a regular basis, and you know, just slowly tick things off over time, because you can't do everything at once.
No. And that's a bit of the art, right? Because we've seen it time and again where firms, you know, they know there's so many things they want to do, but they go inch deep, mile wide, and then they don't finish things off, so they don't start getting the traction and the results. And I think, yeah, particularly when you finally put that hat on to work on the business, you just want to smash through and fix it all, but that's not always the wisest move.
Yes, that's right. So yeah.
I think the other element around coaching that we often find, and so the actual things that we help fix in a business, I mean, yes, as you said, we've got a really, really deep expertise when it comes to pricing. But we don't just do the pricing. We can't help ourselves. We are overarchingly business coaches. So it's happened time and time again where a firm has said, we want to work on pricing, and we've said, yeah, absolutely, you're correct. We can definitely help you with that because you need some work. But then as we start understanding what led them to that point, there are other elements that require some assistance. So it's one thing to figure out what it costs to deliver advice services, but if you're not doing it in the most effective and efficient way possible, you may end up charging people too much for what you need to. Quite often the way that people engage their clients and deliver services, they haven't kept up with technology and changes and possibilities, and you know, all of the different ways in which they really can deliver tremendous amounts of value.
And I think that's probably something that sets you apart from some of your competitors in the industry. Perhaps is others focus entirely on the pricing and not so much on other aspects. Could you maybe you know, expand a little bit more on that? Because I think that was one of the reasons why we went with Elixir, was because of the business structure you have in terms of pricing for your pricing advice, if you know what I mean.
Yes, yeah. So our philosophy, I guess, the values that sit behind everything that we do here at Elixir is that we come from a place where we want to serve people, and we feel that the best way to serve the business owners that we work with is to help them create sustainable structures where they're not dependent upon us, or you know, particularly when it comes to pricing, sometimes there's a functional aspect of just purely a cost to serve, and you know, anybody can do that with the spreadsheet and a bit of knowledge. Sometimes it's also quite deep-seated in terms of people's own belief system and the way that they value themselves and the way that they interpret what's valuable to clients. And sometimes it really is that, you know, there are firms that are not, that they haven't evolved their model. You know, they're saying that they do one thing for clients, but then in reality, that's not actually what they're delivering. And so it might be around oh gosh, it can be anything, Martin. It could be, you know, the way that they structure their portfolios for their clients, or it could be the engagement process that they bring clients through, or what they do in an annual review for an ongoing service client. You know, there's so many different elements that are put together. And so our view is very much that, you know, we really want to understand the business owner and what they're wanting to achieve first, because it would be pretty easy for me to walk into businesses, and every single one of my team have seen it before, where we'll walk and start chatting and go, you only charge what? And immediately go, okay, pretty sure you're leaving some value on the table. But then you discover a little bit more about the business, and you know, there have been times where we've seen firms have said, you know, would really not, we don't want to be making a 40% profit margin. You know, we're happy with X and we want to achieve this, and this is the target market that we have purposely chosen to work with. And then it's about saying, okay, well, so how do we drive down the cost of advice? How do we deliver something that's meaningful to that market without necessarily having to purely just use a leverage of fees to be able to do so? And then you've got the other end of the spectrum of firms where, you know, they might need to double or even more the quantum of fees that they're accustomed to charging, and they're already delivering the value for that. So yeah, I think our structure is around, let's understand the business and where you want to go. We'll help you create the framework within which to price. We'll help manage the project for you to actually ensure that each of your clients are implemented, and work through the ramifications of what happens if some people do say no, who are we trying to build the future for? If we need to replace some of those clients, what's the strategy to do? Like, there's a whole range of different things. And technically, you know, after the first sort of 6 to 9 months of a pricing project, quite often that firm could just continue on and not need our help, because they've got the calculators, they know how to use them, they really believe in what they're doing. And in reality, in most cases, we do end up working with firms for many, many years, because we're continually able to keep adding value, because different things happen in the business. And, you know, it might be growth strategies, it might be recruitment, it might be a whole range of different elements that they want to have that continual help with, and that sounding board to be able to just talk things out loud in a safe place, no judgment, just support and some really good business acumen.
Yeah, well, I've certainly experienced some of that already, which is really refreshing to have someone in your corner, so to speak, to you know, to look at your business from, you know, their perspective, and you know, give you those great tips. So yeah, I look forward to you know, more of that to come. Obviously. So I guess I think staying on the pricing thing, I think one of the questions I should ask you is, how do you charge?
How do we charge for what we do? Yeah, that's great.
I know as a financial planner, you know, sometimes, you know, we get hesitancy from clients about fees, obviously. And I imagine you might also get this from your prospective clients, like other financial planners like myself.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is, you know, we're all about coaching people to run better businesses. And part of that is around, you know, managing your costs and achieving a profit margin. So of course, it's a really important part of the decision-making process to understand exactly what the cost is going to be, and then what return you might get on that investment. Because thankfully, when we're working with a firm, it's not people often refer to things like a compliance cost, that's almost like a sunk cost. You have to have it. You can't run a business without it. And yet it's very hard to draw a direct line to, well, how does that actually improve my bottom line? Whereas our coaching, you know, if we're working with a firm, part of that initial understanding is, well, can we actually add value? Because normally with our initial fees, they're actually quite similar to how a lot of advisors charge in terms of the structure. So quite often we will price the initial piece of work first of all. So like a planner, it might be that you charge an advice fee and an implementation fee before you go on to an ongoing service fee. And you do that because often you don't know the scope of the work that you're going to be doing with a client. So it's kind of similar for us too. So for that initial piece, depending on the size of the firm and the amount of depth into which we need to go, the initial fee would generally be anywhere in the vicinity of, I think probably 8,000 is probably our lowest for a really small firm, up to sort of 20, 25,000, depending on how much work is in that first strategic piece.
Yeah.
And look, I know that's a massive range, and I actually almost hesitate even saying it because it's so broad, but you know, there's a big difference between us having a 2-person or 2-principal practice where they just want us working with the principals and we're just working on setting their vision and their business plan initially, versus restructuring an entire pricing model for a business with multiple team members, and then setting up their operating rhythm for management and leadership within that business. You know, there's quite a big range. So generally that would be the initial piece. And we always make sure that even if the firm was never going to go past that first piece, that they would still get great outcomes from that strategic piece. We're delivering a lot of value in that work.
Yeah.
Once we've done that, that's when then we work out what that ongoing piece looks like. And for most firms, that ongoing monthly fee will sit somewhere around the probably at the lower end, it'd be the 2,200 up to sort of 3,500 a month.
Yeah.
Again, depending on what kind of work and how much interaction we're going to have with them over that period. Larger firms, and especially if we're doing project management, particularly around pricing and so forth, it may be more, and sometimes it might be that, you know, it's more than that for the first 6 months, where we have a really lot of heavy lifting, and then it drops down to a lower amount later. Our ongoings are typically a minimum 12-month engagement, mainly because we know that it can take time to really start to get some traction and longer term sustainable results. But even within that, we say that, look, you know, if for whatever reason you want to pull out, you know, you've got 90 days notice in that first 12 months. After that, it's 30 days notice. At the end of the day, we're not going to look you into a contract if you're really not getting value out of it. That's not, doesn't serve anybody. No. But we do want to set expectations for people that it's not a fix it quick kind of scenario, because that generally doesn't have long-term results. And look, I am focusing on the coaching element. There's actually 2 kind of other streams to what we do for advice firms as well. One is, where most people watching this would understand, is the Evolve Alliance portal. So that's our digital membership portal that houses all of the tools and templates and guides for our coaching clients, but people can also subscribe to that if they're not ready to get a coach. Or if then, you know, they want to do they're a DIY kind of person, that's okay. So that's where we house, like I say, it could be anything from a job description template to a back office operations manual that's 90% done, to business planning templates, all sorts of things, as well as we will often do, where we've got really specific issues facing advisors, we will often do, we run regular webinars, but we'll often get subject matter experts in, and we might either have a panel or a really deep dive with someone that's an expert in something, and then that's there for people to be able to access when they need it as part of the portal. So that, we've done that intentionally, really reasonably. It's only $100 a month for a firm to subscribe to that if they want a DIY. And that includes the business analysis tool that we've got. So it's an online self-directed analysis if they don't want to coach. And that's perfect if you're a really small business and you want some help, but you're not of a size yet to get a coach. But there's also, I think one of Lana's more recent clients that have joined her was a great example. You know, he's got a bigger business. He started using the Evolve Alliance for a bit of DIY stuff initially, and then he got to a point and said, right, I've done as much as we can on our own. Now I want to get you guys in and work more closely with us to drive the change that they were after. So that's the Evolve Alliance. And part of that too is we're finally able to start utilizing the contacts and the I guess the power that we've got nationally, where we've just released our provider members into the portal, which is exactly, you know, Elixir is one of those providers, but, you know, we often find firms are looking for support externally and they don't even know who to start talking to. And through our contacts, we know some really good businesses. So provider members are able to subscribe. They have to go through an initial vetting process to get accepted. So we have to be able to have at least 2 firms that will go on camera to say that, you know, they've used their services, they are really good quality. And then wherever possible, we negotiate discounts with them as well, so that our Evolve Alliance members have access to this brilliant ecosystem of service providers. So that's that. And then the third thing is our latest initiative, which is something that Lana's been cooking for a little while, which is called the GSD Lab. I don't think I even told you about this yet. Do you know what GSD stands for?
As opposed to the GST Lab?
Yeah, no, GSD.
GSD. Thank you. Right.
Yeah, yeah. Any guesses what it stands for?
No. No.
Well, for potty mouths like me, it's getting shit done. Or I'm sorry if that's offensive, it's get stuff done.
All right.
So that's that was born of the fact that quite often when we worked with firms, we did find that there were some that we could set the strategy, we could work out the plans of what they were going to do. Some of those things required some projects to be implemented, and they just didn't have the capacity in-house. And I don't mean admin type, I don't mean client admin, working on client files, I mean your practice management, deployment of projects. So the GSD Lab is where we have consultants can come in and actually implement things in the business. So you sort of bring them in, get the project done, and then they leave.
Right. Okay, that's very interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And we do see that will work beautifully hand in hand with a coach. So we'll help devise the strategy and map out the plan of the projects that need to get done, and then they'll come in and roll their sleeves up and get them done for you. But they can also be used without a coach. So, you know, we have firms already that are, we haven't even launched it officially yet. And we've got a few chatting to us saying, right, we've got this project we know we want to do. We just don't have either anyone with the time or the skill set to be able to actually deploy it across the business. So we'll. So
I guess it's like fast tracking a project that you might want to do in your business that you're just not able to do on a, you know, on a day-to-day basis. And this is designed to come in and just get it done. Just smash it out of the park, so to speak.
And then train the team how to use what they've built, because quite often the skill set, you know, to set the example of it might be building out your entire operations manual for how everything's going to be done in the back office as efficiently as possible, and then setting up automated workflows. Well, the skills to do that, you may not actually need those skills in-house after you've actually built it out, because once people know how to use the process, they can do little tweaks to it. But sometimes that massive, we're starting from a mess, we want to get to the end, is just overwhelming. And so, being able to bring people in on a shorter term when they need it, and then they're not on the payroll, and you don't have that ongoing commitment to them later, is, we think, really powerful. So, that's the GSD Lab.
Right, so there's definitely a few strings to the Elixir, or the greater Elixir family, isn't there? To the more strings to the bow.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's I've almost run out of questions.
I think we've done well. Maybe if we can finish it on talking from your experience and, you know, absolute honesty here, I guess, did you have any reservations when you were first starting to look for somebody to support you?
Yes, I mean, we did contact a number of different coaches, and I guess our reservations were more with other coaches, I guess, or ones that weren't sort of focused on the financial planning industry. And I guess that's what we really liked about Elixir, was the fact that you specialize in financial planning. And I think it's very important to have a group or a coach that understands the intricacies of what our profession and industry is going through at this time, because it's just such an absolute minefield with everything. And as far as you guys were concerned, compared to others in the financial planning industry, I think we just liked the idea of how how you charged. You weren't taking a percentage of fee increases for your clients, which I know some other planning groups do, which didn't appeal to us. It kind of gave us the wrong sort of, or a bit of an icky feel about it. Look, I guess, cost is always something that we tend to, always balk at. And to be honest, that was something that did, make us question whether we should go ahead. But I think I can, quite safely say, at least to this point in time, it's been a great investment. It's you get what you pay for, right? So, we're quite comfortable knowing that we have someone there that is, that we can contact when we need to, and just to keep us accountable on a month-to-month basis. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you for that. It's something that, I always want to get insights into where people's minds are at, because even doing a video like this is kind of hard on, well, where do we focus? If people are sitting there right now going, oh, I'm thinking about getting a coach, which bits do we help them? And always, I would say, just on our website, you can book an inquiry appointment straight in, or you can pick up the phone and call us. We'll book a time. And we'd always have that good 45-minute to an hour discussion with the firm, first of all, to understand what their needs are. And there have been times where we've said, look, we're not the firm to solve those challenges for you. We'll typically know where to refer them on, because we have I think our net promoter score is 89, which is really, really strong. And the reason why we have such a good brand and trust in the market is that we do make sure that we understand the firms we're working with, we're culturally and ethically aligned with them, and we want to make sure that we're serving people and delivering really great value every time. And I think focusing on financial planning, we do this all day long, every day. All we do is figure out how to run financial planning businesses better. So when you start getting into the weeds of things like, well, how am I going to service my ongoing risk-only book for the trails and everything that entails? Or how do I structure a remuneration package for a team of 10 advisors where we want to value the right behaviours and so forth? And how do I bring on the next team member and offer them equity? All of those things, that's the kind of stuff that we deal with all day long, every day. So that's
it's very broad. The financial planning practice is a very broad beast, and that's where I think we can see the value is you're not just looking at one aspect, you're looking at all aspects, and we'll get to those eventually as we go along the journey. But it's it's a long journey. It's not, hopefully it's, it takes us to where we want to be, with the valuation of the business, and so that we can one day retire as well, so
absolutely you put your heart and soul into helping all of your clients retire, so you want to make sure that you guys get the best return on that energy as well. And you know what, I can't even remember Centrelink thresholds. I haven't given personal financial advice for a long time. You guys focus all your time and energy on that. I don't even know, back when I was there, we used to do TTR strategies. I don't think they even exist anymore. But what we do and what we focus on is the actual running of the business and doing that well. So
I'll probably just another point on that was that I think a lot of planners, particularly in the last couple of years, have just become so jaded as well in their businesses, and with all the hits that everyone keeps taking with compliance and
it's like death by 1,000 cuts.
It's just it's a very, very it's wearing. It's very wearing. And so to have Graham there in our instance has been great to just have that sort of steady hand and make us sort of breathe again, I guess, and know that there is a way forward. So I think that's been the most valuable thing so far.
That's so good to hear, Martin. And it honestly is. I know it's tough, and the mental health statistics frighten me of financial advisors. I mean, we chose to work with advisors because we know the good that they do for people, and to see them suffering in times like this is terrible. You look at the number of people that we've lost from the profession. We need to have great advisors running great businesses that can help clients make the most of their financial life. And so as much as we can do to support the good ones to do that, then that floats our boat. We love it.
Indeed.
We love it.
Yay to that.
Yay to that. All power. Well, look, I hope that answers questions for anybody that's looking. As I say, we did toss up whether I should be the one having this conversation, because in most cases it's not me that would be coaching firms directly, but I am sort of working with the whole team on a whole range of different projects and support and so forth. So I would not have a consultant on our team that I wasn't 100% confident would be able to serve the clients that we're passionately looking after. So would love to chat to people with their own personal conversations and questions.
Good on you, Sue. Thanks for your time today, and you've been a fantastic interviewee.
Well, I have to say you've been an excellent interviewer. Thank you very much, Martin.
No problem at all. Okay.